Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in a woman's life when heaven begins to whisper softly. To the natural eye, she may appear ordinary, but in the spirit, she is being prepared for something far beyond ordinary. God never blesses by mistake. When He gets ready to release something important, something that will shift the atmosphere, the woman He chooses begins to feel the weight of divine preparation. At first, she will find herself alone, not because she is unloved, but because she is being set apart. Isolation is not rejection, it is refinement. God silences the noise so that she can hear the whisper. He removes distractions not to punish her, but to protect the seed of what He is about to grow inside her. This separation is sacred. It is a cocoon before purpose takes flight. Then a strange restlessness begins to stir in her soul. She starts to sense that where she is no longer matches who she is becoming. What once satisfied her now feels empty. The job, the people, the habits, none of it feels right anymore. This is not confusion, it is transition. It is the labor pain of destiny. Something is moving, and her spirit feels it long before her mind can understand it. Suddenly doors start closing, not because she did something wrong, but because God is redirecting her steps. She prays, she plans, yet the path still seems blocked. This too is strategy. Closed doors are often more merciful than open ones, for God sees what we cannot. When He shuts one way, it is because He is keeping her safe for the right one. Do not mourn the door. Thank Him for His protection. In the middle of this divine interruption, a new hunger is born. A deep thirst for God begins to rise. She starts to crave His word. She runs after His presence, not from duty, but from desperation. She is not chasing applause or platforms. She is chasing alignment. The nearer she draws, the more heaven releases wisdom and understanding. She no longer finds joy in shallow things. She is being recalibrated for eternal things. But with this new hunger comes heavier warfare. Suddenly it feels as though all of hell has risen against her. Strange attacks, inner doubts, betrayals, and weariness surround her. The enemy always fights what he fears. And what he fears most is a woman who knows her calling and refuses to bow. He sees the oil being poured and he panics. Resistance becomes proof of importance. The storm itself is confirmation. Then God begins to speak, not just once, but again and again. He speaks through dreams, through people, through scripture, through that still small voice within her. He confirms what she has felt, but never had words for. She begins to notice patterns, symbols, and signs all pointing to something bigger than herself. She knows something is about to break open, and she clings to the word as though her very life depends on it, because it does. Out of this grows a boldness, a fire, a deep knowing. Even without the whole picture, she walks in peace. Even in the unknown, she carries assurance. This is not arrogance, it is strength under surrender. The kind of courage that comes from yielding. The clarity she once begged for now comes in waves. Her posture shifts. Her voice sounds different. Her presence carries weight because heaven is backing her. Woman of purpose, if you are seeing these signs, do not run, do not doubt, do not shrink. You are not falling apart. You are breaking through. Something great is on the horizon, and when God blesses, He does not bless halfway. He blesses abundantly above all you could ask or imagine. When God is preparing to do something remarkable in a woman's life, one of the first signs is often isolation. This is not punishment, it is a holy plan. God begins to pull her not just away from people and places, but away from the noise that has clouded her vision. She notices she no longer enjoys the talks that once excited her. Friends who once understood her no longer understand her silence. Places she once felt at home now feel empty. What she is feeling is not loneliness, it is separation for transformation. God always separates before he lifts. He removed Moses from the palace before sending him on his mission. He walked Joseph through the prison before bringing him to the palace. He hid David in the wilderness before giving him the throne. The same pattern repeats, for transformation needs time alone with God. In this season, he becomes her only anchor. Not her job, not her friends, not her title, but him alone. She learns to listen for his voice in new ways. She feels his nearness in quiet moments. And it is in those moments she begins to discover her true self. In isolation, distractions fall away and clarity returns. God shows her parts of herself she never noticed before. He begins stripping away false layers she wore for survival, fear, comparison, insecurity, and the need for approval. As those coverings fall off, she meets the woman she was always meant to be. This is a sacred time. Painful, yes, confusing, often, but holy, because before God gives her something weighty, he must first be sure she can carry it. For this he asks her for full attention. When a woman is standing at the edge of divine change, God does not begin with a spotlight. He begins with silence. He draws her aside softly but firmly. People drift. Conversations grow quiet. Invitations stop coming. And though she tries to hold on, she feels herself being pulled into solitude. This is not abandonment. It is alignment. God moves her out of the crowd because what he is about to place in her cannot be exposed to noise. The deeper the calling, the deeper the separation. He is not hurting her, he is protecting what he is planting. In this stage she feels misunderstood. Even those closest to her cannot connect the same way anymore. It feels as though she speaks a language no one else understands. That is because God is teaching her a new language of identity and purpose. Her appetite changes. She no longer wants shallow talk or empty bonds. Her soul craves something lasting, something eternal. Though it seems like she is losing much, in truth, she is gaining herself. This wilderness produces wisdom. This secret place is where heaven introduces her to her true self again. She weeps deeper, prays longer, listens more carefully, and in that quiet, God heals hidden wounds, breaks old cycles, and restores her identity. It is here her ears open, her spirit sharpens, and her faith deepens. This quietness gives birth to power. The world may not notice her, but heaven watches intently. She is being carved, stretched, and refined. This is not an ending, it is the preparation for a beginning. Before God leads her into rooms of favor, he leads her into a season where his is the only voice she trusts. When God is preparing to bless a woman with something huge, one sure sign is doors closing without warning. Opportunities that once looked promising fall apart. Relationships she thought secure dissolve. Plans she believed in unravel suddenly. To the natural eye, this looks like failure, but in the spirit it is redirection. God is not punishing her, he is preserving her. He shuts doors not to take from her, but to protect her from less than his best. This is hard because many times the very doors that close are the ones she prayed for. But God sees the whole path. He knows when what looks like a blessing could become a burden. When doors close, it forces her to stop, to rethink, to depend on his voice instead of her own desire. This is not proof that she is off course. It is proof that God himself is guiding her. God never closes a door without reason. Sometimes it is to shape her, sometimes to delay her for timing, sometimes to change her path completely. Every closed door is an invitation to deeper trust. She learns her destiny is not in human hands, but in the hands of her Creator. The job she lost, the friend who left, the opportunity that vanished, they were never the source. They were only tools. When they no longer serve his purpose, he removes them. Because when he is about to open a door that no one can close, he first shuts every one that could limit her vision. When God is about to release something extraordinary, he does not only shift her surroundings, he awakens something deep inside. A new hunger rises for his presence. It is not forced. It erupts suddenly, overtaking her in a way she cannot explain. The things that once entertained her feel empty. The talks that once drew her now seem hollow. There is a pull from heaven, strong and undeniable, calling her to the secret place. She longs for silence. She hungers for worship. She opens scripture not from duty, but from desperation. This hunger is not ordinary. It is a sacred invitation. It is the Spirit of God himself calling her closer. God is stirring her to draw nearer, to go deeper, to step beyond the veil. And the more she responds, the more he reveals. In this season, she starts to recognize the difference between empty religion and true relationship. She no longer chases routine. She chases encounter. It is in this pursuit that she begins to hear God more clearly, sense him more closely, and see herself more honestly. Her prayer life begins to transform. She's not only praying for things anymore. She's praying for alignment, for wisdom, for a pure heart. Her tears become her words. Her worship becomes her weapon. She's not seeking a platform. She's seeking presence. This type of hunger cannot be taught. It must be birthed by God himself. And when it comes, it reshapes everything. This is how God prepares her for what is coming next. Before the blessing arrives, he makes sure she is rooted in him, not in outcomes. He deepens her foundation so that when the weight of the blessing lands, it does not crush her, it crowns her. Because what's coming is not just big, it is divine, and only a heart that longs for him will be able to carry it. When a woman is standing on the edge of a divine breakthrough, the atmosphere around her begins to shift, and so does the resistance. Strange opposition and spiritual warfare begin to rise, not because she is fragile, but because she is becoming a threat to the kingdom of darkness. The enemy does not attack what does not endanger him. But when a woman starts moving into alignment with heaven's agenda, when her identity begins to rise, when her hunger for God deepens and her distractions are peeled away, hell notices, and it reacts with warfare designed to distract, discourage, and derail her. The attacks come from unexpected places. People she trusted suddenly turn. Emotions feel unpredictable. Thoughts she believed were conquered resurface with intensity. Her sleep becomes unsettled. Her peace feels shaken. Her progress feels delayed. But none of this is by chance. It is calculated. It is the enemy sensing that something powerful is about to be born through her life. And just like Pharaoh, who tried to destroy the deliverer before Moses could grow, the enemy launches attacks before the promise shows up. But here is the truth. Spiritual warfare is not proof of defeat. It is often the strongest confirmation that she is standing exactly where she is meant to be. The pressure is proof of purpose. The heaviness is a sign of the impact she is about to make. And though the storm may rage around her, she is not battling alone. Heaven has already gone ahead of her. Angels have been assigned. The Spirit of God within her is greater than anything that comes against her. This warfare is not designed to break her. It is designed to build her. It is sharpening her discernment, strengthening her prayer life, anchoring her faith, and equipping her for the weight of the glory she is about to carry. What the enemy meant for destruction, God is turning into promotion. Because a woman who survives the fire cannot be stopped when she steps into the promise. When God is preparing to release something significant into a woman's life, He does not leave her wandering. He begins to send prophetic confirmation, not just once, but again and again, through unexpected people, through sermons, through dreams, through scriptures that seem to leap from the page. God begins to echo His intentions until her spirit cannot deny it. These confirmations are never accidents, they are divine signals. It is God's way of saying, I am speaking and I want you to notice. She may be in a season of confusion, questioning her direction, unsure if what she feels in her heart is truly from God. Then suddenly someone speaks words that mirror her private prayers. A message reaches her at the exact moment she needs it. A dream aligns with the vision she has been carrying quietly inside. This repetition is not random, it is purposeful. God knows that when destiny feels heavy, fear can cloud the mind, so He speaks again and again to bring courage and clarity. Each confirmation becomes a thread in the fabric of her faith. The more she hears it, the more her confidence grows. She starts to recognize the voice behind the voice. It is not the person speaking. It is God using vessels to remind her that she is not imagining it. He is revealing small glimpses of the picture before unveiling the full masterpiece. And with each word, each sign, each prompting, her spirit comes into deeper alignment with His will. These prophetic confirmations are not meant to be idolized, but they must be acknowledged. They are breadcrumbs leading her into fuller obedience. God does not confirm what does not carry purpose. So when the signs repeat, when the word lingers, when the message refuses to leave her spirit, she must know heaven is declaring her next chapter before it arrives. When God is preparing to bless a woman with something extraordinary, there comes a moment when everything inside her aligns with heaven's design. Suddenly, a boldness and clarity that cannot be shaken begin to rise. It does not come from validation. It does not come from perfect circumstances. It comes from a deep place within her spirit where fear has been replaced by revelation. She may still be walking through uncertainty, but something inside her is steady. She does not have every answer, but she has assurance, and that assurance gives her a strength that will not be moved. This boldness is not arrogance. It is authority. It is the fruit of surrender, silence, and submission before God. It is what happens when a woman has wrestled in prayer, cried in worship, fought in the Spirit, and come out on the other side with vision. She begins to speak differently, walk differently, and make decisions with conviction. She no longer doubts her worth or her calling. The voices of others lose power because she has heard the voice of her Father, and that voice has settled her soul. With clarity comes focus. Distractions fall away. She stops chasing what is not aligned. She stops explaining herself to people never meant to understand her. She starts to build, create, act, and move because she now sees what God has been showing her all along. She no longer waits for conditions to be perfect. She steps out in faith because she knows the ground beneath her feet is holy. This is the point where heaven's preparation collides with her obedience. Her courage is not loud, but it is unshakable. Her choices are no longer driven by fear, but by purpose. And once a woman reaches this stage, no storm, no critic, no delay can stop what God is ready to release through her. So when a woman begins to notice these markers, divine isolation, closed doors, a burning hunger for God's presence, intensified warfare, prophetic confirmations, unusual boldness, and unshakable clarity, she must recognize that heaven is announcing her new season. These are not coincidences. They are signs that she is being positioned for more than she imagined. God is not just preparing a blessing for her. He is preparing her for the blessing. And when God blesses, He does not bless halfway. He blesses completely, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is the moment to stay focused. This is the moment to guard her spirit, protect her thoughts, and walk closely with the one who called her, because what is coming will require her to carry influence, wisdom, favor, and responsibility. It will demand strength, maturity, and discernment, and in His mercy, God is shaping her now. Every sign is a reminder that she is not forgotten, not overlooked, not delayed. She is becoming the woman who can sustain what God is about to release. She is becoming the vessel heaven will move through. And when the time is right, when the process has done its work, when her heart is aligned with His, God will unveil what He has been preparing all along, and it will be great, not for her comfort, not for her pride, but for His kingdom. Because when God blesses a woman, it is never just about her. It is about everyone she will influence, uplift, and lead. And so the world must prepare, because she is no longer waiting for permission. She has been chosen, and her time is drawing near.